Welcome to another thought-provoking episode of the Velvet Podcast. Today, we ask a very important question. Who is truly a fashion designer? If you go to the hospital, we have a doctor, we have a nurse, we have a midwife. If you come to the fashion design business, we equally have different roles, and all those individuals have whatever they do that contributes to the success of the business. We have a tailor, we have a seamstress, we have pattern cutters, we have fashion designers. It could go on and on. But there is this trend of wanting to be called a fashion designer. So our question is, who is truly a fashion designer? Edini yamane budodo. Inti eneno yebedomu suko. I'm Dr. Clement Asem, and you are your host for the Velvet Podcast. And we are proudly sponsored by Limpa Fabrics. If you want those exclusive fabrics to create those dazzling couture pieces, look no further. It's Limpa Fabrics. Their details is in the description box below. We go for a quick break. When we come back, we will get talking. Don't go anywhere. Dear designer, are you in search of a one-stop shop for all your couture fabrications? Whether you are crafting stunning wedding gowns or elegant dresses, Limpa Fabrics is your ultimate destination. Limpa Fabrics offer an exquisite selection of luxurious fabrics, from bejeweled embroidered laces to silk organzas, silk mikados, timeless pieces that will bring your designs to life. Visit us in East Legon on the Adringano Road. Contact us on 0256 949 413 or 0559 997 978. Visit us on Instagram at Limpa Fabrics and have a feel of our exquisite fabrics, which will dazzle your mind and bring your designs to reality. Walk into our shop and experience a true couture haven. Welcome back from that quick break. Today I have two powerhouses helping us to dissect and bisect into the topic at hand. I have Mr. Richard Ohinesika, fashion educationist, talent manager, and founder of Rails College of Design. And he's actually my boss. Welcome, authority.
Thank you, Doc.
I'm excited seeing you here.
It's a pleasure to you.
We are going to have a good one. Also, we have in the house the talented Mrs. Ejapoman Okala, the founder and creative director for Ejapoma Design Gallery. Welcome, madam.
Thank you.
And I love what you're wearing.
Thank
so
you.
lash. Welcome to the Velvet Podcast. So welcome, and we have a cool tradition here is the Velvet Podcast, and from the word, we are looking at something smooth. We have bare conversation, brilliant conversation. So we are going to pick our velvets and do the tradition. Welcome to the Velvet Podcast.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Velvet Podcast.
Thank you.
So this is a special velvet that sets your mood, gets you ready to have a very dashing conversation.
It's rich.
Very.
I was actually tensed, but I'm very calm now.
Oh, that's the magic of the velvet. Yeah, so to the conversation.
Yeah.
A clean one, juicy one.
Yep.
It's velvet time. Yes, and we are ready. So, we find ourselves in Ghana or the continent of Africa, and we know when it comes to learning how to make clothes, apprenticeship is something that is really on the high here. And it's been there since we started having design school and all that. So we have a lot of local craft people who have been empowered to just cut and stitch, they just sew. And we have a lot of them in our system. Now we have social media, which is all over. You can find yourself anywhere and you see what is happening online. Due to the glamour, the glow, the bars we see online, anyone who makes garments or clothes anywhere wants to be called a fashion designer. So they'll tell you, me a seamstress, me a fashion designer. Me a tailor, me a fashion designer. And they make it look like being a tailor or a seamstress is a sin, or it means you are not global, you are local. So we want to understand who is truly a fashion designer, who is a seamstress, and who is a tailor. As obi or semema ye friend watchman, from security. What is the difference? I want to start with authority. I mean, you are a fashion educationist. You educate people to become global brands, and we've seen what you've done. Who is a fashion designer?
So I like to explain designing so that even understanding who a fashion designer is much more simpler. And so designing is the process of creating something with intentions and purpose. Okay. And then it involves problem solving skills, creativity, and proper planning. And at the end of the day, it is to serve a specific purpose. All these things that you are doing at the end of the day must serve a specific purpose. And so by the time you finish designing, you are either coming up with a structure, a system, or an experience. And so when we say a fashion designer, we are basically narrowing it down into the fashion sector because in designing, we have software designers, we have architecture designers, and all of that. And so a fashion designer is that person who sits down and then go through these processes that I have outlined: planning, problem solving skills, creativity. At the end of the day, when they finish, they are creating a fashion related item. Okay. And so, and then it is also divided into several sections. There are the producers, and then there are the designers who come up with these systems, the structures, the experiences. And so that is who a fashion designer is. That person who sits at the beginning to say, okay, I feel there's a problem somewhere. For example, human beings 500,000 years ago were naked. And so we started by just putting leaves around us. And then that became a problem solving skills where at the end of the day, instead of being naked or the sunburn directly hitting you, you have covered yourself. And so you've solved a problem. Now, the designing aspect of it, where the fashion designer comes in, is how these things are worn and the purposes that these things are also coming out with. And so a fashion designer, I would say, is that person who makes in terms of fashion design, is that person who is going to make the fashion industry more functional, much more purposeful, much more planning wise.
Great. You've really said a lot. And this is helping me to understand it's not just about the garment.
Not
Before
at all.
even the garment come into existence, there is this planning, having to research and all that, which involves a lot. So if we find ourselves maybe just sewing or stitching something,
Mhm.
we can't term that as fashion designing
Not at all. That
because
is production.
it's thank you very much. That is production. Ejapoma,
Yes.
fashion designer. Who is a fashion designer to you?
Well, I would say that a fashion designer is someone who directs the creative process of the technical, the production, and the visual design of a concept. That's what I understand by what a fashion designer is. So the fashion designer comes up with the concept of how it is brought to life. You see, because everybody has ideas, everybody has an imagination to bring something to life that is usually brought from their creative process, or I see it as from the divine, right? And then once it comes into their mind, how do we execute it? So they set up the process by the assistance of technicians, by the assistance of producers, by the assistance of artists to bring together that concept so that it comes to life.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
This also is really pinning on point on creativity, bringing something to life. And so if I want to even absorb this definition very well. If I see what is happening on the continent now, where we just see anything because somebody is doing this, we do it. It's not a design process because you have made it clear that they bring concepts, they think through it, and
Yes.
actually set a team together. This is really great. Since we've now understood who a fashion designer is,
Mhm.
you commented on production. Um, Authority also commented on production.
Yes.
So it's moving us to a tailor and a seamstress.
Mhm.
If I have my mother and my mom is what a seamstress, I don't think is a bad idea. That's her profession.
Mhm.
I can't say, oh, mama, because I'm hearing everybody is a fashion designer, you also make garments. Please, you are a fashion designer. No one should call you a seamstress. Who is actually a seamstress?
So mainly seamstressing, the term seamstressing simply means somebody who is joining seams. Okay. And then
Okay.
in the olden days, it was just seamstressing where our mothers will be at home. They usually wearing work, and I'm talking about centuries ago. And so they will pick up some of our torn stuff and then they will be joining them little, little. Then it got to a point where they felt they could actually make a business out of it. And so they started making a business, and then that term seamstressing. And so that is how come it is more related towards women than men. But the idea is that seamstressing just means joining pieces, trying to sew pieces or creating something together using stitches. So that is what is the term seamstressing is. And then a seamstress is someone who does that. And so in our everyday life, when we want to go to church and the basic things, we usually will go to seamstress to
For
sew our
them to
skirt
put it
for us
to,
and then our
yeah.
everyday stuff. And
Okay.
so seamstresses, unlike Ghana, where we will say, or even online where you see it more towards women, it's a general term for mending or putting
Putting
pieces
pieces
or seams
together.
together because it is derived from the term seams and
Okay.
seamstressing
Good.
because of the women nature of it. But as at now, whether man or woman, so you remember Oya Adieye.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
So Oya Adieye is a very good example of seamstressing, even
Okay.
though it has also revolutionized to more than just Oya Adieye mending small, small things. Now, our seamstress are the everyday things we wear,
Yeah.
those who sew them for us. But you know that when you are going for, let's say, a wedding where you want to slay, then you don't go to your seamstress. You rather graduate and say, I'm going to either a dressmaker. Okay, we haven't gotten to the
Yeah.
dressmaker, so I'll limit it to the
Okay,
seamstressing.
so it's also good you mentioned the dressmaker because I was coming to ask a question, but I'm sure it will connect to that.
Yeah.
So with a seamstress, are they able to make basic patterns to sew? Can they make basic patterns to sew?
Originally, no.
Okay.
But because of how far things have gone in our industry, and not just Ghana, but all over the world, commercial patterns being available, and they not necessarily going to school to learn these things. They may end up learning how to do patterns. But originally, seamstressing or seamstresses were not doing patterns. They were just doing freehand, which
Good.
is direct
Then
cutting.
take me to the dressmaker. So what would be your definition of a dressmaker?
So the dressmaker is that person you usually will go to anytime you want to slay. And so you realize that
Okay.
this person is way higher than
Than
your
the
dressmaker.
seamstress.
Sorry, the
The
seamstress.
seamstress.
Because
Okay.
anytime you wanted to do a top or skirt or anything, you usually will go to that person and then they will do. That's your seamstress. But when it comes to the dressmaker, once you get there, that is the high tech. They are doing patterns, they are doing everything, but they may
Okay.
not necessarily be the originator of these ideas. And so these
Mm,
people mainly pick designs, or maybe they will just change the sleeves or go to Pinterest and other places, pick designs and put them together for you.
okay.
But the designer
Dressmaker.
cannot do any of these ones. As in, the designer will not go online and pick something
Thing.
and then give it to you.
This really makes sense. So if we look at our system and our operations, then I'll say a lot of our people who have shops around, their business is dressmaking
Exactly.
because people go to them with pictures, so this for me, I'm going for a party, and they just do it.
That's
They
very
just do it.
correct. That's
So
very
that's
correct.
so they are dressmakers.
Dressmakers.
Thank you very much. Japoma,
Yes.
then who is a tailor? Now we know a designer, we know a seamstress, we know a
And a dressmaker.
dressmaker. Move us to who is a tailor.
A tailor is a bit more defined. A tailor, some of them, looking at the centuries in which sartorial tailormanship has evolved. It started off with um, men. In this case, more men are in this category because it is craftsmanship that involves some patterns, some drapery, and it's a bit more detailed because we have to look at not just the seams and patterns and cutting items together, but basically looking at how measurements are
Okay.
deducted and taken in
Wow.
to form the suits and jackets and pants and skirts that go into tailormanship. So not every category of clothing falls under tailormanship. So there are a group of individuals, especially men, who are skilled in developing this few category of garments. So
Wow.
that is tailormanship.
So,
Yeah.
when we visit our tailors, their shop, you see the way they mold, they shape, they create certain structures.
Yes.
When we go to, we won't say seamstress, when we go to our dressmakers, because
Dressmakers.
I mean,
Yes. Yes.
authority have made it clear. When we go to them, we realize they don't really do much of those. They can just cut and then they just
Yes.
join.
Here's the thing with dressmakers, the production is a bit more broad. So we are looking at they can do jackets, but they can't do it the way tailors would do it.
Do it.
Okay, because a tailor is a thin line between a tailor and maybe some couture or bespoke manship that goes involved. Dressmakers actually do skirts, do tops. They also are, how would I, like he said, they take inspiration from
Exactly.
something that already exists. And then they are just reproducing that or adding and subtracting and forming garments. But with tailormanship, the seams even affects the quality of finishing of the actual product. So that is
Beautiful.
tailormanship.
So I mean, this makes it so clear, right? Just like in the hospital, I said earlier, we have people who can go and learn nursing, but they're going to work in the hospital.
Yes.
We have doctors,
Yep.
they are going to work in the hospital. We even have those who work in the lab. They have what they
Yes.
do, they are going to work in the hospital.
Yes.
And all of them contribute
Contributes
to
towards-
everything happening.
Yes.
With this definition and this role description, it makes it very clear that all these people, they play pivotal roles in the production
Production
of
of
the
the
design
garment.
industry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it means we all have to appreciate where we find ourselves or how we've been trained.
Yeah.
Because now I understand a dressmaker, what they do exactly. And I know a lot of us watching, we are dressmakers.
Yeah.
We have to accept it, hone it up, and then be so excited about this position. We can't, a nurse can't wake up today and say, I'm a doctor, just because you are working close with a doctor.
Yeah.
So you're a dressmaker, just accept that and stop parading as a fashion designer, please. Because that position is also very vital and we need it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Look, let me even add up to the tailor. So the tailor was borrowed from the term tailored, or when we say this is a tailored service, it simply means that I'm doing something that is customized for you.
Okay.
And so tailors are looking at more custom made stuff or things. So when we say, come, let me give you a tailor made service, if your bank says we'll give you a tailored service, it means that they had you in mind. And this service is purposely for you. So tailors are those, like she said, usually around men and also menswear stuff, but jacket, suits, the pants, and all those things that we talk about. For example, you're wearing a tailored jacket here. Now, if we look
Matt
at
Cousin.
this with the way it's being tailored to you towards the neck, the lapel, and the way the whole thing. So the best of suit. Designers will come up with these concepts. But when it comes to suits, no designer will beat, for
tailor.
example, a tailor.
Okay.
It's there's nothing even like a designer will not beat, because the designer understands that I should come up with the concept and my ideas, and to let it come out well, I need a tailor,
tailor.
because the term simply means someone who customizes things to fit the body. So
Beautiful.
tailoring. And so you could go to a fashion institution and learn for 4 years, but you finish and you major in tailoring,
Yes.
which simply means that it's also a branch, or it's a
Exactly.
category that people go in. So the perception that a tailor is one man on the roadside with a table and low class is not there.
It's not that.
All the Armani, the Jojos, all the best jackets and suits and things you would see are usually produced by tailors.
Tailors.
And you are better off with a tailor creating such things for you, rather than
Than a
a seamstress
dress,
or maybe a
a
dressmaker.
dressmaker.
Yep.
Thank you so much. With this explanation, I would want us to bullet some points around a fashion designer.
Okay.
If someone is a fashion designer, what are some of the qualities? What do you expect the person to exude, exhibit that shows that this person is a fashion designer from their works, even way of life?
Well, I'll start off by buttressing what you said about dressmakers, right? Um, for the craft and the work that we do, I always tell the people I employ that be proud of your profession,
Yes.
because with the or your role in the business that you find yourself in, be proud of it because it takes calculation, it takes time, it still takes technicalities to execute the product. So never feel like um I am only taken seriously. You see, that's where there's a stigma. That with me, I'm a bit on the old, I'm older millennial, so I'm a bit on the old school side. Um, we came from the stigma of, oh, if you are not performing well academically,
Yeah.
right? Why
Oh.
don't you go
And
and
learn
learn
how
how
to
to
sew.
sew? And forgetting that that one too comes with this in-depth calculations. I always say this. I did science in high school, and the calculations that I have to apply in producing a garment now is better than algebra. It's so deep. The fractions you have to deal with, the
Yeah.
deduction of taking out, a certain side, let's say, especially when you're doing bespoke. Yeah, we are dealing with 3D body forms here. So it is not a job that you take lightly, but you see, socially, the stigma that we've had in the past has carried along all the way till today. So even though we are
Mm,
doing the work with pride, we don't feel confident
yeah.
expressing ourselves, saying we are a dressmaker. Doesn't mean that it's not valid,
Yeah.
you see. So I would want us to establish that before we come to who a fashion designer is. Now, a fashion designer
The
actually,
qualities.
yes, actually conceptualizes. Basically, we literally produce the map of how art, vision, imagination collaborates with technicalities into producing a garment.
Okay.
That is a fashion designer. So a fashion designer starts off by saying, okay, I want to produce a garment. My inspiration is mermaids. I'm getting inspired by the mermaids because I live by the ocean and
Yeah.
every day. So we sit down and come up with these concepts and see how we can produce details and signature and adding technicalities to producing a garment where when someone sees this, they go, this actually reminds me of the ocean. This actually reminds me of the sea. So the colorways, the texture, there's when I say signature detail, maybe your details are jellyfish or, so you use a lot of like ruffles and flounces in producing your garment. And that is what you've carried along. So, which is whatever collection you do, your signature runs through. And that is who a fashion designer is. They actually conceptualize. If you feel like, hey, this one is long, maybe I just want to sew. I've seen some dress somewhere. I think I can, drape some garment somewhere, drape it on the side so that the figure is formed and whatnot. Then really, you fall under a dressmaker, which is okay because it's still you trying to use your
Mind
imagination to
around.
come up with certain details in the garment. But the fashion designer is a true conceptualization of what a brand or a business is.
Great. So, still on the point, now I have captured from you the person has to be creative, they have to have vision, and they have to be a team leader or a leader
Yes.
because they are going to lead some group.
Yes, yes.
These are three major qualities I have captured from your presentation. Authority, what other qualities should a fashion designer have?
So the qualities I will outline will be intentional. If
Okay.
you're a fashion designer, you must be intentional about what you do. Um, everything that you create, or once you say I'm a fashion designer, my things must also have a purpose. I should also be a critical thinker or a creative thinker. And then at the end of the day, problem solving skills. So these are the qualities that I would say a fashion designer must have.
Beautiful,
At the end of the
beautiful.
day, if your work you have created doesn't solve any creative problem, then it
Problem.
means that you haven't really done justice to the element of design or the purpose of designing. Yes.
Mm.
I
This is
do agree with that.
interesting. And having absorbed this bit, now I have to question myself, even the list of people I have that I call designers.
Yeah.
I have to think through receive the list because this is like real education we are having here. Now let's move into this. There is something I have observed. Um, there are some brands I admire so much, and when I see their works, immediately I see their works. I don't need a tag. I don't need a name mentioning. I know that this is
This
this
is
brand's
focus.
work. And I'm glad to even have a Japoma here. The very first time I saw her page, and I mean, if you're watching, look at these pieces on your screen. You should check out her page. When I saw the page, there was something that was running through. My first question was like, where does this lady train? I'm not sure she's schooled here. Because I see something so unique, something that runs through all the pieces. If I see a piece somewhere, I know this is
You know it's her.
this brand. If you see a Christy Brown piece, you
You
know
know.
this is a Christy Brown piece.
Yeah.
If you see Tubu's work, you know this is Tubu's work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel brands that are able to do that. How is it? How are you able to carve a signature or let's say a DNA? You have done it so well. How was
Thank
it
you.
for you? How did you do it?
Well, I'll say this. I would say my training, first of all, is from Singapore. I studied in LaSalle School of the Arts for 4 years
Okay.
before I evolved to New York. So New York was for the work experience till recession happened.
Okay.
And I was like, hey, let me come back home. So that's how I ended up back home. And then I set up my brand. Developing a signature, you have to sit down and be like, okay, what how do I want to play around so that people see that this is my product? So you can start off with a lot of textile treatments. Some people do it through beading. Some people do it through weaving.
Yeah.
Some people do it through embroidery. So I sat down and I was like, look, I'm from an Asian background. I've always loved the Japanese origami. It's basically paper folding techniques,
Yeah.
right? So I like the idea that with out of paper you can create folds, 3D effects. Let's say you do a garment, but then it's like certain parts of the garment is standing on its own. That
Exactly.
kind of fabric detailing or surface detailing. Now, what happens is when some designers, or I would say some dressmakers, are, are are researching, they don't take their time to be like, let me develop my own. So what happens is, where me fe,
Then they are
then they are
doing.
doing it. You can also do, because there's this brand, she also surface detailing, like the many other bespoke brands out there, but hers is different. Marvi.
Oh yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah. Oh
Marvee.
yeah, yeah. In
What I
Nigeria,
like about
she's
Marvy
amazing.
is that
She's
she does it
amazing.
3D. She has this way where the
Yeah,
beading is projecting. It's like it's projecting
exactly.
from the
Yeah.
surface of the
That
garment.
girl is
You see,
powerful.
it goes to show you that she's intentionally, like you're saying, making her product stand out from the rest of the surface detailers, right? So you've seen and that takes a lot of research and practice. And practice doesn't mean you tried it one time and it hit and then you're moving with it.
No.
It means you tried it, you failed, you tried it, you failed, you tried it, you failed, till it comes to a level where you're like, let's try this, let's see how this goes, and then you work with it. But one thing about signature is, as much as it is your true aesthetic and what your brand projects, it also cannot be sustained for long. So your
Oh,
signature too has to evolve.
okay.
Okay. I realized that with some fashion designers from the past, they developed a good signature, right? But after a while, then others are copying the signature. The copying part of design or copying part maybe through dressmakers or whatnot, it is a sign that you have to evolve.
Mm,
You've been using the same signature. You see, if I'll use Chris Brown as an example. She started off with buttons, African printed buttons
yes,
and
Yeah.
strings.
yes.
You need to evolve.
At a point, there was a change.
There was a
There
change
was some.
because now you could get some Equiatu who's graduated from fashion school and it's like, I love it so much that let me do it on. So then you get that effect where they are not using their imagination, and then now you are competing on who is
Yeah.
original, who is. It's time for you to evolve.
Great.
Do you
Great.
understand? And I genuinely believe that we are on a vibrational field where if your idea stays too long, it means now the masses must have it. You need to let it
Mm,
evolve. If you are
you are
doing
right.
if you are doing prints, let's say your signature is African print, you've been using wax print. After a while, try other surface fabrics, linen, mesh, silk, organza, satin. Move on. Your signature is print. I look at this brand, Dye Lab.
Yeah.
Dye Lab has to evolve.
Mm,
So if right now your boo-boos are everywhere, it's time
Yeah.
to make it.
exactly.
But if now you're like, no, this is an original Dye Lab,
I get it.
it's like you're fighting a losing battle because what happens is now the masses want the trickle down effect, and it's actually happening. That is what actually God wants. He
Mm,
wants that type of thing where the idea is so good that now it has to seep through the masses. So this is where you also have to elevate so that you get to a point where you're an aspirational brand.
great, great, great.
Do you get what
And
I mean? Yeah.
I like the fact that it's not just about even having the education in school, but there
Yes.
should be a lot of research
Yes.
if you so wish to create or carve that niche as a DNA, something that you want people to just easily see.
See you
And you
by
have
it.
to try and try. You don't do it once, and because you feel it's good, you just
You
leave
just
it
stick to
there.
it and you've plateaued.
Yeah.
And then when that happens, when other people are copying you, so to me, when designers sit down and that this one is copying it, evolve.
Thank
Move
you
on,
so
yeah.
much. Thank you. Now, authority. Still on the DNA, because this is very important. It's a conversation a lot of people keep asking. I want to create a signature for my pieces. How do I do it? She's mentioned researching. You can look at surface textiles, ornamentation, whatever it is, and try and try. Now, let's look at having certain vision or core values. How can someone have a set of core values or vision that can guide them into carving a certain niche or identity that is so distinct to them?
That's a very broad question. Indirectly, she answered all of this through the presentation she made. And so I won't say a lot,
Yeah.
but I'll still reiterate that there should be planning.
Yeah.
Now, when you plan, everything that is well planned will end up getting good results.
Yeah.
In the planning, that is where your researches and other things comes in. If I am aware that in Ghana, when it comes to master class, DCCA is there. Or if I want to upgrade my skills in this and that, DCCA is there. And I want to create something. Because I have done a good research and I understand what is there, I have also, the research is only not at one side. You understand that this is what is there. What exactly do people want also? So you compare what people want versus what is there. You have a resource, which means that they are looking for something different, or this is what they are looking for. And so I'm giving them. But if you are giving them something that already someone is giving them and is even giving them better, then it means that, like she's saying, you end up either becoming a competitor, nobody will end up knowing you, or that. And so with proper planning, you end up getting good results. People also don't appreciate trends. In mood board making, there's a section known as trends where you want to understand the type of costumes that has evolved in the number of years and all. So it determines where you must also go. So I'll say planning. Intentional. People are not intentional when they are building brands. For example, Mercedes-Benz, their symbol or their logo, it's three lines on it.
Yeah.
And then there's a circle around
Around
it.
it.
The intentionality is that they are saying that Benz can be in the sky, it can be on the line, and even on the sea. This is what they are trying to tell you by
Oh.
that three strokes. And then the circle that is around it is saying that it means that all over the world. So it's like Benz is all over the world. And so if I am marketing or I'm creating such a brand, if I know that I want to capture the entire world, my name has to be something that is appealing to the whole world and not just maybe Kumasi. Because if your research and your purposefulness or the everything you want to do says I want to capture the world, you don't only focus in Kumasi.
Yeah.
You're looking at right from the beginning what name I must have, what color of logo, all these things. So planning, number one, and being intentional, number two. And people are not so let me use the term critical thinkers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
People think, all right. But the critical aspect, the surface thinking, they are type of thinkers. So most people think the basic ones. Okay, poverty, or I want to get money. And so when they are setting up brands or when they are coming into the fashion industry, my goal is one day to finish learning and get a container so that me too, I can get something to eat. This kind of mentality, or finishing school right from fashion school or the university and saying that, okay, maybe I'm a container or I'm getting a room somewhere to start working. How can you compete someone like a Japoma that is coming from where? Look at where she's coming from. And even the country has influenced her because we
Exactly.
understand what that country is made up of
Yeah.
and what her personal stuff has also been. The number of years she has done this. There's no way you get into the industry. Most people will come in the first 2 years, then the brand is dead because they came in with money. They got some money and then they set up.
Yeah.
So we are saying that you should plan very well. You should be intentional. You should do a lot of critical thinking. And then at the end of the day, whatever you create, a brand must serve a purpose. So if at the end of the day I hear maybe Rios, I understand that it is a platform for somebody who has no knowledge. The school that you can just go there and they'll pick you from scratch all the way to the end.
Yeah.
I know Joyce Abibio for being in the industry for so many years. They will also pick you not just a fashion school, but a college, and they have almost a 30-year experience. So
Yeah.
you have to make sure that whatever you are creating serves a purpose.
Great.
And so that's
Great.
what I would
This
say.
this quite intriguing. I think any fashion designer out there who hasn't really discovered something unique about what they are doing, this conversation will keep you thinking because it's beautiful for the entire world to know what your brand stands for. We should be able to see your works and we know that this is it because that is the journey to becoming very exceptional with what you do. Now, I know when you go to developed countries, we have councils, we have boards that help to regulate things. Africa, we are growing. Things are getting better. If you come to Ghana, even with the ministry now, the Creative and Tourism Ministry, you realize there are sections being created, different bodies. With time, we know certain things will happen solidly.
Yeah.
Somebody will mention every business have their ethics, right? We haven't defined. If you go to music, they have their ethics.
Yeah.
In design, generally, we have certain ethics that fashion designers are supposed to like work with, abide by it. It should guide them. It should be like a Bible to enable them to grow.
Yes.
We have a lot of us that we call ourselves fashion designers, but generally these things we don't even work with that, which actually makes it clear that we are not fashion designers at the first place. It's just we love the name and we want people to know us by it, which is okay. We would want to accept that. Now let's go to some of the ethics. We are looking at sustainability.
Yes.
Now it's a global, it's not like it's been a global conversation for some time. But I think in Africa, we are now trying to see something like that. And look at what you're wearing. You know, immediately I saw it. When I saw that effect, I'm like, this is sustainable. You won't throw your pieces away.
Yeah.
Because we're able to use offcuts and all that to create this. You are helping. That's a good idea. So let's look at sustainability in terms of design ethics.
So here's the thing with sustainability. I was even discussing it with Mr. Richard in the room.
Yeah.
And I was saying that I know it's a very unpopular opinion, but I think it's time we face it. I know that Cantamanto has been a beacon
Yeah.
for so many creatives.
Yeah.
Right? We go there to find goodies, vintage, it's about time Cantamanto.
It's shut down. Yeah. Shut down completely.
So here's the thing.
No,
I'm not saying that to diminish what they've brought to the forefront in terms of garments and the creative, no space. But what I'm trying to say is that I've seen it with a lot of African countries. Nigerians have done it, Rwandans have done it. I think that looking at what Ghana is in terms of being sort of like a guiding light when it comes to African countries, when it comes to African ideas or the Black man's way vision of what the world is, Ghana is part of the pioneers, right? And I think it's about time we jump on the bandwagon. I would say this because go to our shores today. Not far.
It's crazy.
Go to Lavender Hill.
Yeah.
Right? So these bills come and it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
A lot of money these people invest in the bills. When they come, half of it is not even useful. Half of it is
swatches and all that.
It's just a mess, right? So we pick out of the swatches, get what we want, then the rest is dumped in our oceans.
All over.
Philippines has banned it. Certain Southeast Asian countries have banned the importation of secondhand clothing. I know that looking at the class systems, right, we should create an opportunity for not just designers, but for dressmakers, for manufacturers to also start. So if, let's say, my capacity is, you know what, I'll just do t-shirts. In this country, we still need singlets.
Yeah.
We still need trunks.
Yeah.
We still need bras. We need them. Must it always have to be what the rejects of developed countries to come here before we have access to them? If we eliminate that, then it gives room.
Yeah, it creates opportunity.
It creates huge opportunity for us to also be manufacturers. So now it answers your question of why is everybody dying to be a fashion designer? Because there's this thing of, okay, if I'm just a seamstress, there been many fashion designers.
Yeah.
But me say, okay, me a seamstress. Okay, my started with a brand new pants because in my here brand new pants. Now I buy a banning importation. Switch.
Exactly.
Akoye bra ne panties. And I say be mema boxes. And I be t-shirts.
It makes sense.
Show what I say. You assassin no. You bet me fufu cotton. Cotton you bet me weave. You bet me creating nets. You bet me
yeah.
Okay,
exactly.
Do you get what I mean? But when you raise the topic of, I think, Cantamount, then everybody gets...
Everybody, we are very emotional about things, and I think it has always been it.
Yes, but I'm not saying it to look down on anything because I actually genuinely think it's $1 million Ghana city industry. A lot of money is in that space.
Yeah.
That's acre. A lot of money is in there. But if the money can be channeled, anka sikana anka mede ba kwaji bill no. Anka me pay seamstress bi. Na am say okay, pacho menya bra sample yi. Ubetimi aya na ya sane literally ya sane bra no. Yen hwesi a ye be ye na ye betimi achieve bra.
Exactly.
Ebema afe na ye manufacture. So it's not just about design, concept, ideas, couture. We also have to feed the middle, the earning power on every stage.
Even work protective clothes, aprons, all
so
those
many things
so
that is needed for our economy. Do you get what I mean? We have to leave room.
It makes sense, and I like this. It means we all have to keep making noise about this.
Yes.
It will work. You'll be shocked in years to come. This particular thing you're talking about will be in reality. It takes individuals who have to push it, talk about it, make
But there'll be a
noise
lot of
about it.
resistance.
But it will definitely happen. I know if this thing, they even introduce this, there'll be a lot of protests and blah, blah, blah. You don't want us to eat. We have kids in school. How we take care of them.
It's a scarcity mindset. And I feel like it's just a diversion of how we can channel the money. It's not that you won't eat too.
Yeah.
It's just that now, no.
Do it this way.
Na ship so and na duty and na customs. If we do
sense.
everything here, China here today they're powerhouse.
We will be able to. We are very hopeful. Okay, so before we move on to the next point, authority, you may want to add to what she said under sustainability.
Okay, so from a teacher's point of view, I think that we have said so much about sustainability in Ghana, but I am getting the sense that people may not necessarily understand it or maybe don't understand how much it is affecting us. So I want to break it down from a teacher's point of view to the lowest person who is home that is sewing or maybe working. When we say sustainability, we are just in a layman's term, it is something that is going to be able to be sustained. For example, we are saying or in this world, it is a world that is supposed to be sustained because some people lived in it for so many years, and then we have also come and we are living in it, from the environment to every other aspect of it. Now we are getting to a point where we are spoiling or we are degrading the entire universe through the choices we make. So what we are saying is that in the fashion sector, we need to do things that is going to make the environment friendly or sustainable. It is part of when we say the sustainability, all these practices are under. Into anything that you do as a textile person or somebody in the fashion industry, make sure that the practices or the things you are doing, it helps the world to become a better place in terms of environment. So who you be our pamwadeɛ nneɛma a wotwitwa bebrebe no wode yɛ den ɛkɔ he ɛwɔ sɛ wodwen ho sɛ yɛde yɛ den ɛkɔ he na den yɛwɔ nkurɔfoɔ a they need these things to work with it, and then it becomes a better thing for them instead of just throwing them out there. No, Juma ne say, yes, by the end of 2050 or by 2050, no, there's going to be more rubbish in the sea more than fishes. Nature say, you cast a net onto the sea. We are going to get more rubbish than fishes. And you betcha baller. And Sanima, yes. As a Japoma is saying, or Japoma, when you go currently to the beach areas, you'll be scared because we are away from the beach, so we don't really see what is going on. But the whole place is like multiple dumping sites. Uyi rubber free more. The next thing you are going to see is fabric or textile waste. And textile waste, contribute to the second polluting body in the world. When you remove oil, that's the rubbers and all those things. The next waste is textile waste. As individually, even if you are not in the fashion sector, as a lady, as a gentleman, we are saying that when you are going to buy something to wear, it is better to buy a quality one that is going to last you 2 years, 3 years, or 6 years. You remember we used to wear certain jeans, denim jeans.
Yeah.
That will last us so long. Our mothers will wear, fathers will wear, and they will pass it on to us. But if you continuously go to these places and buy the same denim jeans for, let's say, 50 CD and things, those ones, you wash it small or you wear it, and in the shortest possible time, you have to throw it away. By doing this, you increase your friend of fast fashion or mass, fast fashion.
Yeah.
Fast fashion need t-shirt, I call a more shops, then you call a yini baby. Now, and no, Madame Eka said, these things, ne far by baby, no, and no more contributed to this mess, Cantamanto Kahon. It's currently say, yeah, can't, that's all say, which would the end can be a enche Adriani, we Adriania, who nya bibi, and fambo, so yeah, nam. Aside that, textiles, dying to money we are. they pour all the water
water
back
away.
into the rivers. You really free saying so we drink all over the world, not just Ghana. They are coming from rivers and then other water
Yeah.
bodies. So if somebody is pouring all these things inside, then it means that we are going to kill ourselves, and then the world will not become a place that can be sustained. Into a
Great.
sustainable fashion. It is practices and decisions that is going to help the environment to make it a better place.
Thank you so much. Now we are moving to another ethics that I think is very important, since we are diving into what really defines a fashion designer. We are looking at intellectual property, and I think I'll connect it to transparency. I think last year, early September, online, one brand I admire so much in Nigeria, DR.CLEMENT, there was an issue where a client had gone online to throw her that she had ordered a custom piece from her. And after she created the piece for her, she went ahead to recreate the same piece for another client. And she took so much money. However, Diola released a press statement that stated clearly everything they do is in their brand DNA. They go to their catalogs, they can recreate, and no client owns the intellectual property to the works they have created. And from your early point on we researching on textiles and all that, I realized Diola Sego uses a fabric called Sego, which is quite different from the Ashoke. It's refined and it's a signature to her brand. That's why we've had people copying. And it makes sense. Now, as brands, right? We have a lot of things that we are doing that we haven't made it so clear. We have nothing binding. When it comes to intellectual property, let's say you, with what you are wearing or what I have seen on your page, if I come to you and you create exactly what you are wearing for me, right? Can I say, or maybe I tell you, don't put this effect here, but put it at the hem of the jacket, and you do that for me, and I later see you make the same thing for someone with the same direction of what I said, despite the whole details and concept is your design, what authority do you have?
You see, both parties, it was probably new to them. But if the client coming on board, knowing probably she was given some policy in regards to bespoke, what it entails to have a Diola Sego piece. If it didn't involve anything in the policy stating that whatever we discuss here is exclusive to the client has no right to the design because it was done within the creative space of Diola Sego. If let's say a client comes to you and it's like, hi, you see it with a lot of collaborative effort with celebrities and whatnot, and brands. Oh, I'm Versace, I'm doing a collaborative effort with H&M or Target, whatever. They are doing a collaborative effort to come up with a few pieces of their signature in the getting access to a certain market, because when you are doing collaborative efforts, it's two marketplaces. So let's say sometimes a musician and a clothing brand, maybe an actress and a clothing brand. They've come together, they've done a collaborative effort. The policy will definitely state that whatever proceeds that come out of this collaborative effort, it will be divided accordingly. You did not come into the space as a collaborative effort where whatever proceeds moving forward will be divided accordingly. But if you come into the creative space of a designer and there's no black and white stating that the other party has exclusivity to what's discussed here or whatnot, then it's it's baseless, really. It's unfortunate, but that is what the legal side of things are.
So if you want to be clear, it means for it to be genuine, a brand should make it clear.
Yes.
And then the purchasing client or the clients you have to understand that, okay, me having this piece from you, or maybe that's why we've had consultation and all that, I don't own rights to it and it belongs to the company.
Yes.
That totally makes sense. Authority still on that.
So once again, because I am a teacher, I like to break it down so people whom and watching anywhere can understand it. And once again, it is an area that I think a lot of people do not understand. So when we say intellectual property, it simply means something that has been created with your intellect. So in the creative sector where fashion people are part of, we create things using our hands, our heart, and then our head. And so once we create these things, then it means that these things are ours. And so you become it is your intellect, it is your brain, it is your idea that you use in doing these things. So as a way of protecting you from somebody stealing ideas from your head, we need to make sure that this idea is genuine. You too, you didn't take it from anybody. So once it is yours, then it becomes a patent, or you patent it and then it becomes yours forever. And then at any point where somebody uses it, then we say that the person has infringed on your intellectual property or on your right, and then you can also get some money out of it. And it is a very big deal. So a fashion designer must understand that when I say I'm a fashion designer, it means that I am going through all the things we've stated here, which means that I will start with planning. I'll be intentional. I'll create something with purpose. I'll do all of this and create something that is very new for somebody. And once I create this thing, there are two ways to it. Either I am giving, I'm protecting my right, or I am giving it to you as you came up with the, or we planned it together, and so the right is divided, where
Yes.
you own maybe some right to use the dress or the idea that I've created for you in some way or some form. So let me use music so that it's much more easier. So if I am Sarkodie and then I've created music, the music I have done is mine. Okay, because I created it. It involves other people. There are a lot of people involved. So I own the right to the music. If anybody uses the music for any commercial gains, then I am suing the person because I use my heart, my hand, and then my head. The fashion people cannot be different. And so it exists in here also. You cannot think that when you create, or when, for example, a client, when a fashion designer creates something for you, automatically the thing is yours. It must be discussed. And for designers also, they need to understand that they need to brief. Most designers don't even have design briefs, or they don't even create contracts for their customers. If we are doing a contract, then it is in there that even though, yes, I may have had consultation with you and all of that, every process that is going on here is fully protected. I am the originator of that design. There's a lot of facts that people don't know in Ghana. If you call a photographer to come and take pictures for you, you've paid the person, and then the person finishes and gives you the image. The photographer is still the
Still the
right
right
owner
owner until
of the
it's
pictures.
transferred.
And you cannot say, but I paid you, but I did this. You paid for the service and he has rendered the service to you. But who is the creator of the images? He created it. He used a camera. He went to sit down editing. So that is where the thing becomes his property or his right. And so the right can always be shared. So either he gives you 50% and says you can do this with it, I can also do this with it. And so in fashion, it also exists. If you go and look at somebody's design and then you pick it and do it, and at the end of the day, we can trace that you took everything from here, it is a possibility that you have infringed on the person's right, especially when the person has patented the idea. You can be sued easily.
Thank you so much. I mean, with all that we've been talking about, clearly we are getting a lot of things wrong on the continent. Like, we are getting a lot of things really wrong on the continent because we take people's designs, we copy all the time, we produce stuffs, we throw the waste away. You know, we are just doing things that are not right. Now let's look at how can we be able to reconscientize the minds of individuals that we believe the generations to come, individuals who want to get to fashion school, people who want to become fashion designers, what can make them, what are the necessary things that they can go through or we can provide or they are needed for them to go through to enable them become top or global brands?
So I would say it's baby steps. Rome wasn't built in a day. Um, but with platforms like yours, where we are having now discussions like this, I think it's very promising. I am actually very hopeful for the future. I'm noticing that um, now there are more designers producing and people patronizing um, products in the countries more than looking outside to try and get
Then buy.
an outfit or a shadow from certain brands. A lot of women now, when they are going out, even if you look at um, a, a country like Nigeria, there's an awards night, there's a red carpet event, there's a book opening,
Yeah.
there's so many
Happenings.
happenings or events going on that you really now see them import or try to bring foreign brands to the continent. So I think it's progress because when I started in the industry, getting the brands out there, is pacho Zara koto we mame, Primark koto we mame. Now it's getting less and less because now the creatives here are churning out. Let's give flowers.
Yeah.
That's
Let's give them
due.
the whole
You
garden,
know,
the entire garden.
you know, you realize the creatives on the continent now are doing the job. So
Yeah.
now you don't have to look to a Western country or even an Eastern country to try and get some outfit out of. So I think that is baby steps, right? I would say that, like what we've said earlier on, wouldn't want to be a broken record, but we have to sustain our environment. Look at the way we all came and tried to rally behind Galamsey. It's the same concept when it comes
Yeah.
to the textile industry or the garment industry. We have to push because the way you're saying, oh, everybody's trying to be a fashion designer. It's because there are a lot of creatives out there, and they are trying. You see, their dreams and passions are still valid. You see, they want to produce in the environment where they are from, and we cannot just make the money pool just for the extremely successful. It needs to trickle down to everybody. So if we are protecting our environment, we are, protesting against policies that do not encourage a sustainable environment or ethical practices in our businesses, then yes, after a while, it will overwhelm us. So now, with the little that we are working on, I mean, I know it's going
It's
to
going
get
to be
better.
positive.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
authority. What step can be taken to ensure that the next generation of designers are well equipped and skilled enough to compete globally?
Okay, so I think the entire nation has to be intentional about our education system. I've seen that they have started it now, and so I am very positive about it. It should have been done many years ago. China doesn't care about speaking good English and being this, being that, and all those things. They focus on skills and they made sure that they were impacting practical things into their children. And so, right from the beginning, when the kids are learning those white people's rhymes and things, they must learn the local one as well. They must understand that Sarkodie or Manifest or Shatawale is a Ghanaian musician, and it would be nice to become a musician. And it is not those who didn't do well in school that ends up becoming or getting into the creative industry.
Exactly.
I've seen a lot of notes and textbooks that has explaining what fashion design is about. There's a creative, they are building a creative economy. So now I think slowly, slowly we will get there. But this, we need to start from scratch. We need to teach people, children, critical thinking. When you look at these countries, China and Asia and those places, they teach that young people learn or they teach them critical thinking or how to come up with things at a very, very younger age. In Ghana, you get to the uni before you can be able to develop something, or you are pushed to
To do
develop.
Yeah.
something
This should start from
way from
scratch.
scratch.
From childhood, you need to understand that art is there and it is one of the sections that you can go into. We shouldn't push young people to get to senior high school and the only options they have is science and maths and just
Yeah.
these ones.
Academia.
Yes.
Yeah.
And usually when you don't get anything, then you say, okay, and the visual art. That's
It
whole
doesn't, the
thing.
whole mindset and
Or even
concept.
talk to the human being. What are they interested in? You see, we do a
Exactly.
lot of decisions that doesn't involve the person who is
Exactly.
going to use it.
Exactly.
You get what I mean? I'll buttress what you're saying. I firmly believe that me, because my experience is from Asia, I would say this. We all saw Korea and Ssangyong. I don't know if you remember the car Ssangyong. Okay. Initially, we're like, hey, design there, kuntai
Which
there,
one
you
is
know,
this?
like, hey, what's
All
this?
over.
And we've seen their cars. You
Then
see
what
the,
next after
you know,
that?
you see like Hyundai at the time in the 90s.
Yeah.
You saw a Hyundai Sonata, nothing fancy, practical car, less or, you know, it doesn't take a lot of fuel. But the nation has supported these automobiles, and now they are
Global.
crazy powerhouses. Same with China. You get what I mean? Africans, let's support our own, good and bad. Because I realize that the black man, we go to a restaurant or even a clothing brand, we go there and then maybe a mistake occurs, right? I find that a lot in so many industries. A mistake occurs. Rather than give feedback, we walk away, we go and sit on somewhere and then start bashing the business or entity. No.
It doesn't
Or
work
even
like
coming
that.
online to bashing them.
Intentional.
I find that so lazy.
Yeah.
And we
Go
are not
back to the
intentional.
brand, give them the feedback. I was here. This is because the Jewish people did it. I lived in New York. I saw the Jewish people who support all the telco. You think MTN is giving you problems. Verizon too gives problems. T-Mobile gives problems.
Yeah.
But people are still supporting them because they're like, oh, it's a Jewish brand. Let's support our own.
Japoma, it's actually part of being intentional. You see,
Yeah.
when you are
Yes.
intentional, when you are even criticizing someone, you have a purpose for
Yeah,
which the
for doing
criticism
that.
is going in.
Are you criticizing them just so that you feel good?
Exactly.
Or you are criticizing
To help
them so
them
that they
improve.
evolve.
Yes.
You
Most
see-
Ghanaians criticize because they either want to make sure they satisfy their emotional
Emotions.
stuff.
You see, so if
I
let's
like-
say you've
I
gone
like
to
that
a brand
point.
and
It makes
maybe
sense.
you realize that Charlie, the way they are doing your garment, or you've gone back and forth,
Yeah.
you go back there, you tell them that
Yeah.
no, I want to support my own. I'm
Yeah.
intentional. I want to come and support you.
Yeah.
But improve. If not, then I'm not coming again. No business owner will be like, take your problem, go.
You
No
see,
business owner.
in
But
the-
we won't even tell them. So you are there and it's like rumors. Oh, Nancy was say, Nancy. You don't do that.
And you could have gone very close to the person to tell them. In the 50s, many years ago, when Kwame Nkrumah existed, he was traveling with the whole creative attaché, a band and all of that. So where did we get it wrong? That it was only in 2024 that the government thought that let's create a creative at senior high school. How is that possible? Something we were supposed to have done around in Nkrumah's time, and even the creative arts thing is still not finished.
Not at all.
I went to I'll tell you this. I went to a college of the arts school.
Okay.
Arts come in two forms: performing arts and visual arts.
Visual
Yes.
arts, yeah.
That's a two. You can't sum us up in one art.
Yeah.
It never works.
So
Never.
if you're doing a ministry of creative whatnot, it literally has to be the performing arts and the visual arts.
Yeah.
Even architecture is under visual arts. We have to separate the two.
Yeah.
We can't sum it up and then now we are providing
The same solution
The
to everybody.
solution for everyone.
Yeah.
So I see that in the music space and
Yeah.
maybe in the movie space, they're making
Yeah.
an effort. But in the visual arts space, we're on our own.
I
Yeah.
think I'll commend the creative arts agency. They've actually done that. So when you go to the creative arts agency, there's the visual arts, there's the fashion, there's the they've
You have to categorize. You can't put everything. It's the same like medicine.
Yeah.
We know that there's the skin, there's the eye, there are different parts of medicine.
Hopefully. I mean, we are
Yeah.
very positive about the future.
Yes.
Before I take your final words, we would want to look at aspiring brands or people want to become fashion designers. I mean, people will be watching you. And I'm sure this particular episode, I'll get the link shared with a lot of design schools, like tertiary, technical schools, so that these individuals who are on the trajectory of becoming global brands can pick a thing or two what would be your advice for someone who is wanting to become you or become something greater in the world? What would be your advice for them?
I'll say that your dreams are valid. Don't look at your background. Don't look at where you are coming from. Ewie na ehia. Look at the journey. Okay, everybody, some people are early bloomers. Maybe right after fashion school, Chale, the parents, they are for money. The parents have set them up. They've set brand, they've done everything. JJ. And then maybe all you have is your one industrial machine. Start. Don't stop obsessing over what others have done online. For me, I had to be tunnel visioned because that's the only way you can be an original. If you focus on what others are doing, do you know indirectly it influences your outcome? Because then you start thinking, this is what success looks like.
Yeah.
But for you to
You
be
define
original,
it in
you
a
have to
certain
be
way.
intentional and tunnel vision so that you can focus on what God has put, in you. So I generally think that don't give up, start. Don't overthink the social media process. Don't overthink. If your creative process is, oh, I want to do draped gown, start. Let people write the comment. What is this? Take it all in because that is what will ginger you to be better. Don't be afraid of the criticisms, or else you won't grow. For a
Exactly.
diamond to shine, it needs to be buffed.
Exactly.
You can't just get up and you're shining.
Mm-hmm,
Do you get what I mean? So I genuinely think that your every individual who is aspiring to be a fashion designer is actually valid, but you have to put in the work. And I'm not going to sit here and say that, oh, me, I started with 100 CDs and no,
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 no, no,
no,
no,
no,
no,
no,
no.
no.
I started with 5 CD.
We are not going to do that here. Okay. There were times that, yes, you are in your one room. All you had was your studio apartment and a table. And your mattress was under the table. And then you get up and then you are doing design. It is the drive.
Yeah.
It is the grit. It is the looking people who are looking at you doubting you. Especially, I'll put it out there because you're all facing it. Family members. God didn't even give the vision to them. They gave it to you.
Exactly.
God gave the vision to you. So if you go to your mom and say, hey, I depend for this womb. I am a candidate.
Authority, what do you have? I mean, I'm sure you tell your students all the time. What advice generally?
So I will end by quoting Alvin Toffler. So he says the illiterate of the 21st century are not those who cannot read and write, but it is rather those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn.
Yes.
There's so much you need to learn in the industry. Don't be in a haste to make it. You have no business setting up a fashion brand right after school.
Yes.
You have at least 4 years
Mm.
before or 4 years after fashion school before you say, let me set up a brand. It's very simple. After school, you need to reposition yourself and assess yourself whether you have really, really understood what you got in school. If not, you do a self introspection to rather gain everything properly. And then from there, move to do internships. I always tell people do internship. Your first internship, first 1 year, 2 years, do it with someone who does all round. And then the next one, by that time, you would have mastered or you would have known where your interest is.
Yes,
Then you go and do another internship or attachment to become better at the area that you have discovered yourself. The good thing is that once you're a good intern, brands ends up paying you.
Yeah.
I have an intern who went to do just 3 months internship. The person says they have employed her. If you are good, you will get it.
You will.
And then as time goes on, you need to now establish yourself, understand branding, work for brands. There's nothing as powerful as saying that, look, I am here because I have worked with Dr. Clement for this number of years. Your experience alone is not going to be just a book knowledge,
Yeah.
practical knowledge that
It's important.
nobody can come close to you. So don't be in a haste to become one of the big names out there.
Yeah.
You need to learn, you need to relearn, you must unlearn. There's so much you need to intern for to get before you step into the industry. This thing about just wanting to become the next big thing through social media, buying likes, creating things that do not exist. It is
Yes.
an unnecessary pressure. Majority of them, they cry at night, they go through unnecessary stress and the rest. Focus, be intentional, and everything will be fine.
Thank you. Focus, be intentional, and everything will
We'll
be
be
fine.
fine.
Yeah, we've had an incredible velvet moment, and we would love to take our final words as we wrap up. Ijapoma, we've been talking about who a fashion designer is.
Yeah. Well, I would say this as last words. For me, I genuinely believe that the creativity that comes from Africa is explosive. It's the new frontier. We've seen the West. We've not even seen some of the East. And we've seen the West over and over. Let's be confident. Let's put in our hard work, our grit, and let's show the colorful side of our garment industry. Because as we've seen from the West, that we take a lot of inspiration from, we also have some original ideas in this continent. And let's be open up to each other as Africans. If let's say your things will thrive in Ivory Coast, hey, get there, show your products there. If it will thrive in Gambia, do it. Don't sit in Ghana and feel like you're small. When what God has given you, everything you see on this planet there's a figment of someone's imagination. So bring that imagination to life. And you're good to go.
Believe
Thank
in
you.
yourself and bring
Yes.
your imagination to life. Thank you so much, Ijapoma.
Welcome.
Authority,
Yes,
your
Doc.
final words for us.
Okay, so I'll end with this quote and research that was put out by J.O.T. Ajiman, John Osei Tutu Ajiman. So it says that the fashion institutions in Ghana train about 5,000 people on yearly basis. And out of this 5,000 people that are coming out, 80% of them are going to fail.
Oh,
20% will succeed. And out of the 20%, only 2% are going to be recognized. Now,
this
it's very,
serious.
yes, it's very simple. Whether you want to be part of the 20, the 80, or the 2%, it's just the choices you make that determines where you are going to be. 80% will think the usual way. They will not plan, they will not be intentional, they will not do critical thinking. They will just go by the straight jacket thinking. They will finish school, get a container, and just start doing something little on the side without proper planning. The 80% are those who do these things. They will go through internships and others, but they will end at a point. Now, the 2% that are going to be recognized are those who will continue to learn, relearn, and then unlearn. So the question is simple. You choose where you want to belong to. You decide whether you want to be part of the 80%, 20%,
Or
or the
two. I
2%.
know.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. That has been an insightful episode on the Velvet Podcast, and this journey has been incredible. It was more of education, it was more of empowering, and I'm excited. We have a lot of aspiring designers who will be watching this. Please understand that it's not about wearing the name as a badge. I'm a fashion designer. There is so much that entails in what working, learning, unlearning to become this topmost admirable brand you've always wanted to be. And it's a day at a time. We have to continue to learn. We have to continue to grow and understand what we've been gifted with. I'm Dr. Clement Asemnyra, and I want to say a very big thank you to our guests, our distinguished guests, for helping us dissect into this topic. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet and activate the bell. I'll see you in the next episode. Stay blessed.